Russia's President Vladimir Putin says he will respect the outcome of the election and has ordered a withdrawal of Russian troops from the border with Ukraine. But new violence and separatists promising to block the vote could complicate prospects for peace. CCTV's Anya Ardayeva has this report from Moscow.
As Ukrainians are getting ready to go to the polls on Sunday, the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk is establishing its presence in Moscow. Following a referendum in the mostly Russian-speaking regions of Donetsk and Lugansk on May 11th, the majority of voters there supported the region's self-rule and independence from Kiev.
While we don't have the official recognition from the Russian Federation and our relationships with state organs have not yet been established, we are building ties with community organizations and political parties.
Shortly after the referendum in eastern Ukraine, the Supreme Council of the self-proclaimed republic has asked Moscow to recognize its independence. And while there has been no official response from the Kremlin, the pro-Russian separatists, both in Ukraine and in Moscow, say they have no intention to back down. Ukraine's government said some 20 people were killed in clashes between pro-Russian separatists and Ukrainian troops just days before the election. As tensions in the region heightened, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian troops to be pulled back from the border with Ukraine. Pavel Felgenhauer is a military analyst with Novaya Gazeta.
Russia hopes that the Ukrainian military will not be able to put together their act, if they have an act actually, and that the Ukrainian regime will not stabilize and that it will actually continue to disintegrate, and that Russia may achieve its overall objectives without risking a direct invasion, which would put it at odds with the West, risk very punitive sanctions.
Vladimir Putin also said he will respect the choice of the Ukrainian people and that Moscow will work with the newly elected institutions. However, observers warn that the standoff between Moscow and Kiev isn't likely to be resolved quickly.
If Ukraine continues to move away from Russia and continues to suppress the pro-Russian rebels and separatists, there's a distinct possibility that somewhere in July, maybe August, we're going to be again in a very dangerous situation.
As they await a response from the Kremlin, representatives for the Donetsk Republic in Moscow are collecting humanitarian aid for eastern Ukraine and say that the presidential poll in the country on Sunday isn't high on their agenda. Anya Ardayeva, CCTV, Moscow.